Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around this beautiful, beautiful world. Today I have a very, very special guest and I can't wait to present her. She is an associate partner in a big digital company. She is a multi-award winning professional in cloud, data, and digital. She's a mentor, she's a podcaster, and as of this week, she's a TEDx speaker. Welcome, Alina Timofeeva, and all of you watching right now, put a thumbs up, a clapping in the comments. I want to see who is watching. Alina, welcome to the show today.
Thanks a lot, Belana. It's probably the most exciting introduction I've had so far.
Good, amazing. Congratulations, first of all, of you becoming a TEDx speaker. I know it's a huge dream of yours.
Thank you.
And how you feel as now you're a TEDx speaker?
I mean, I'm really very excited. I am excited that, first of all, I did become a TEDx speaker, but secondly, I'm getting quite a lot of views at the moment, even though that the video went live just a couple of days ago. I'm very happy that the audience likes it. You know, they're sending me positive messages, and it's really, you know, helping me just generally as well, and hopefully helping the people globally as well.
As you mentioned, a lot of views. I'm so happy you mentioned it. For all of you watching right now, this is the woman who beat all the records I know of, because in the first 24 hours, you hit 31,000 views in 24 hours. That was smashing all the records, which I know, obviously. But that was wow, like a huge, huge, huge wow. So your topic is failure. Why you wanted to choose such a topic where actually you're like multi-award winning digital, you've been doing so many digital transformations for huge banks around the world, and then you chose the topic of failure?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think I'm always very honest with my audience. So whilst, you know, the people may see the multi-award winning woman with all the awards, I mean, I want to be honest, and I was, you know, subject to failures for many times. And I think it's very important message to the audience of just, you know, making sure that you're honest, you recognize that there were things that went well, things that didn't go well. And similarly to, you know, all normal people, failure is a thing which happens, and it is an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, this for all of you watching right now, I put the link to Alina's TED Talk in the description of this live. So go and watch it. Highly recommending you, because her message that failure is an opportunity to grow is quite big. And I love all of your well, you shared Hill a lot on TEDx stage, and as I was working closely with you on all the script and the different topics when we were discussing. Actually, I was asking like, what kind of stories you want to share? What are the big failures? And basically, Alina said that there were a lot. So
Yeah.
few.
Yeah. And I even failed to get on TEDx for a few times as well. I would say a few hundred times probably.
Do you remember? Yeah, let's talk about your TEDx journey, and after this we're going to go back to the topic of failure. How was your TEDx journey? You just said, like, how many times you applied to TEDx?
So I wasn't counting, but let me tell you. So basically, I was sitting in lockdown and I thought I really want to develop in public speaking. Now, I was invited to do, you know, a few podcasts here and there, but they were all on Zoom because it was lockdown. So I thought I really want to speak in front of the audience, and TEDx is a great opportunity. So why don't I do TEDx as kind of one of my first big public events with people? And I started studying how you can do it. So I didn't have a coach at that time. So basically, I just went to TEDx, to the TED platform. I looked at every single TEDx event in UK, Ireland, a few in Russia and a few in Europe. And then I would go and check out who are the organizers, or maybe they have process how you can apply. So they all have a different way how to apply. Sometimes people, you know, have a process. Sometimes it's more informal, that there is an email and you write to them and say, hey, I want to talk. Can I talk? But I applied to every single TEDx in the UK. I think I applied to maybe another 50 TEDx's in Europe and Russia. So that's a lot of TEDx's. And the result was, I mean, in many of the cases, people either didn't respond, or maybe it was an online application. So I don't even know, what happened to it. Sometimes people responded, but they said, oh, because of COVID, we don't have events, or we have somebody with this topic, or, you're not good enough, etc. And then it kind of, towards May, I was accepted by one TEDx in Londonderry. And it was a studio. So the way Londonderry studio works is you can record it in a studio, but you have no people. And usually it doesn't get a lot of views. I mean, it depends, but usually it's less views than big TEDx's. And I was going after it, but then I thankfully met TEDx Bedford, and I kind of really wanted to have in person with the physical people, and I decided to go to TEDx Bedford, which was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. They are absolutely amazing people. Every one of you watching who are volunteering to TEDx Bedford team, thank you so much. You did that event super special for all of you. I wasn't there in person, but I heard a lot. So yeah. So how is your day on the day? I know that it was.
So there were a lot of funny stories. So why don't we start maybe? So I had to first of all go to TEDx, to Bedford. So I live in London and I go to Bedford. So I come to King's Cross, I sit on a train, and they're like, oh, our driver for the train didn't come, so the train isn't leaving. So the train wasn't leaving for like 45 to 50 minutes, and they were updating us. The driver is around the corner. The driver is coming. We don't know when the driver is going to come.
Typical London trains.
And like the whole people on this train were sitting and thinking, wow, that's a failure with the train, pretty much. But then that went fine. So finally I did come to TEDx Bedford. Then I come on stage like for a little practice thing. And it was funny because I was practicing on a carpet with like 2 by 2 meters, or it was like around that kind of size. And then they bring like a little carpet, which is like 70 by 70 centimeters. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do all my practice with all this carpet, but then it was okay. And then I was a bit worried, but I think I was okay like before the talk. And then I come out and my first phrase is, I'm a failure. Right. So that's part of my talk, part of my script. And I'm a failure. I say it and the microphone isn't working. And basically, everybody laughs because, it's quite funny.
It's a live audience. That is the good thing about live audience.
Let me start again. And then I guess you don't see it in the actual video, but that was before it all started. And I was pretty happy because like I really enjoy standing in front of the audience, and that some of them kind of laughed. There was a couple of jokes. Sometimes they were kind of more, I don't know, compassionate. And it was nice to see this, the emotional part of it, being really on stage with the audience and seeing, how they laugh and smile and clap. And
yeah,
that was nice.
Absolutely amazing. So you shared your journey as an immigrant coming from Russia to UK, migrating, and pretty much like you pick very it was a highlight obviously of your journey because your whole talk is quite short. But if you have right now migrants watching us right now, for all of you who ever migrated from another country to UK or to another country, basically, and right now you're working on another country, put a yes in the comment. I would love to see who is a migrant. I'm a migrant. I don't call myself migrant. There is at some point I was living in Monaco and France, and we were like expats. It's like which nationality you are, and I was like, it's an expat nationality. We were just making it up, but yes, for all of you watching, just put a yes if you're expat and working in a country where you were not born and you moved recently. But Alina, what would be your words for those people who really migrated to another country and it's like really feeling it very difficult right now?
Yeah. I mean, when I migrated, I felt pretty horrible because I thought that I don't really belong. And when I migrated, I came kind of by myself to UK, so I didn't know anybody. I came to do a job in Accenture at that time. I was the only person who was not British in my start group of 100 people. And then when I was kind of on projects as well, it was mostly British people, maybe some Indian people. But definitely I stood out, both in the way how maybe I was an immigrant, but also how I talked, walked, and behaved. And just, it was very difficult. I would also probably say it was quite complicated in terms of, finding accommodation, sticking to accommodation, learning to say hello to people, like doing the small talk. And it was all very, very different. So my guidance really is to look at the people, wherever you are, in terms of trying to watch how they talk, how they walk, how they behave, and, just try it out. So one of the things I was doing, I never did small talk, and all Russian people are very straightforward, I guess.
Yes.
So I did make an effort. I did make an effort of going to different like networking events, company events, to just be there and to try to look at other people and to try to be less, I guess, nervous and more comfortable. And sometimes, in fact, many, many times I did feel that I don't belong. But I think over the time, the years, it seemed to have worked out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are the words from a woman who won 7 awards just this year, 2021. So you can imagine how long journey she was walking to get to the position you are right now. And any kind of inspirational words for those who are really like feeling like a failure right now, like what they should do in their life?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the main thing for me is not to wait for an inspiration, but to get up and to start, doing stuff. And my experience has shown that in many of the cases, doing, doesn't always bring you something straight away. But the more you try, the more resilient you are, kind of the result does come in. I would say in my journey, I was quite probably unsuccessful for the first 2, 3 years in the UK. And then it kind of picked up. I guess now I'm in year 7.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Okay, let me do something. I'm totally curious. Your talk was published on today's
Monday.
16th, on Monday, so it's like
13th.
13th of December. Yeah. So all of you watching right now, her talk is on 32,000 views right now, and this is like 2 days now. So that is amazing, amazing, amazing result. Well done. Like really with all the strategies what we were discussing to do, you did literally tick all the boxes. It was absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazing. So last question. What is next for Alina Timofeeva? If TEDx is already achieved, what is next?
Well, I'm actually very curious about the results which TEDx can bring. So I was already invited to some podcasts and to some kind of talks. And I think some people want to show this talk, I guess, in Clubhouse and in other places. So I will see, how that avenue goes. But I think generally I want to speak more. I want to speak more publicly, and some of it will be on the topics of, migrants, because I'm really passionate about it. And I think this topic is underrepresented at the moment. And I guess the second topic is probably closer to my day-to-day career, which is data and digital. So my company are quite keen to help me, like, as a, I guess, formal representative around these topics, which should be nice as well. I guess for me, really, as I mentioned, so immigrants is quite important. And I feel that there is a lot of effort right now, to get diversity, maybe to get women in technology, etc. But I think immigrants is not the topic which comes up, but there are quite a lot of immigrants. And to be honest, I'm hoping that my talk will, not only inspire the immigrants, but also help the non-immigrants to understand how immigrants may be feeling and, to be mindful of that.
been there, done that. Yeah, pretty much. That journey is well known for me, as I lived in 4 different countries, so I've been migrating 4 times so far. So yeah, and also for all of you watching, one of the reasons why I really highly recommend you to watch Alina's TED Talk is because every time when people say migrants and immigrants, it's kind of like in people's mind, people see this kind of like people in boats crossing, the ocean to come to England. I don't know. It's kind of like this kind of status quo, I'm gonna call it, or like completely wrong impression. But actually think about it, is UK is just below 70 million people, and majority of us is actually people who were born somewhere else, and we migrated to the country, maybe stayed for I don't know, 10-15 years, moved out, moved back, any of those. So yeah, it's like watch the talk, because you're gonna really, first of all, you're gonna be super inspired to look at your failures as really opportunity to grow, as Alina's message is, but also to look at migrants, as her stories, what she shared was from the early years of migrating to UK, and completely change your opinion about expats, migrants. It doesn't matter how you call us, but it's very, very different. You absolutely change your opinion about people who were not born in the country where you were born, and speak with the accent, and do things differently. Okay, final words.
I mean, I just wanted to share a story which actually happened yesterday. So I was messaging to one of my LinkedIn contacts, and she's like a former TEDx speaker. So I just wanted her to take a look and, just share her opinion. And basically she was like, yeah, but I'm going through a very hard time, and actually I don't really, have time and stuff. And I said, well, this is like talk about failure and how you go through hard times, so maybe you'll find some value. And she didn't watch it, and she was like, oh wow, my god, now I'm going to share it with everybody, it's really helped me, please come to my podcast, please come to my interview. And I was quite impressed, to be honest. The fact that a video can make you feel better.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you watching today. Put in the comments, after you watch the talk, put in the comments what was the one thing, what you're going to always take away with you, and what was the wisdom for you specifically, and share your journey if you want. Thank you so much, Alina, for being today with me. And for all of you, I'm going to see you tomorrow, 12 p.m., same time, same place. Sending you a lot of love and energy.
Thanks a lot.